I never saw this coming. Chris Paul is available, and reports indicate the Knicks have discussed a trade for CP3. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. This episode is presented by FanDuel. We have a goal of trying to reach 40,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy daily Knicks content, please hit that subscribe button. And now, let's get started. The Knicks discussing a trade for CP3. The Clippers have officially lost it. I understand that they're struggling right now, but Chris Paul, this is his final year, his final season. And what are they doing? They are sending him home until they can trade him or until they can waive him. That is such a dirty move by the Clippers. Here are the details if you don't know what I'm talking about. Shout out to ESPN and Chris Haynes for giving us this following information. According to them, breaking, the Clippers are parting ways with Chris Paul. The team announced. The team will work with him on the next step of his career. Chris Haynes states the following. The Los Angeles Clippers are sending home future Hall of Fame point guard Chris Paul in a bizarre severing of ties move. Here is the statement from Clippers president Lawrence Frank on why the Clippers are deciding to split with Chris Paul. According to him, we are parting ways with Chris, and he will no longer be with the team. We will work with him on the next step of his career. Chris is a legendary Clipper who has had a historic career. I want to make one thing very clear. No one is blaming Chris for our underperformance. I accept responsibility for the record we have right now. No one is blaming Chris for our underperformance. He said that twice. There are a lot of reasons why we've struggled. We are grateful for the impact Chris has made on the franchise. Oh, I see. You're trying to tell us that nobody had an issue with Chris Paul and nobody is blaming Chris Paul for this move, for you cutting him in his final season of his career. Such a dirty move. You say that, and then we get the following report from Shams that crumbles that all apart. Shout out to Shams Charania of ESPN for giving us this following information. According to him and his sources, Chris Paul and his leadership style clashed with the Clippers. Paul has been vocal in holding management, coaches, and players accountable. Let me give that to you one more time, because nowadays, in this day and age, we don't see any players do this. But Chris Paul, he's doing it once again. Chris Paul clashed with the Clippers because he has been vocal in holding management, coaches, and players accountable, which the team felt became disruptive. Specifically, Ty Lue was not on speaking terms with Paul for several weeks. And even though Chris Paul wanted to work out these issues with Ty Lue refused to meet with Paul. Do not tell me Chris Paul was not part of this problem. Do not tell me nobody is blaming Chris Paul, because clearly, according to Shams, according to his sources, there are some people, some players, some coaches, the head coach, Ty Lue, that had a problem with CP3. And if they have a problem with CP3 on that level, it's only a matter of time before the writing's on the wall and he's either going to be waived or he's going to be traded. Now, I know what you're asking yourself. This is all great, but this is about the Clippers. Where do the Knicks fit into all of this? Where does it say that the Knicks are discussing a trade for CP3? Well, if you were waiting for that information, good news. It just arrived for you. About 6 days ago, before this was even a reality, before this was even a report, Steph Bondy with the New York Post stated the following. Chris Paul is a name the Knicks have discussed as a target for the backup point guard role, even before the Landry Shamet injury. That is a major update. Before Chris Paul was even available for a trade, the Knicks were discussing a trade to get Chris Paul on this team. And now, a few days later, magically, he is available. The Knicks, they have been looking for another veteran point guard to add to this team ever since Malcolm Brogdon retired before the season started. And come the trade deadline, New York will still continue to look to add another veteran guard. And Chris Paul being available, that matches New York and what they're looking for almost perfectly. Some of you in the comments right now, you're typing it as I speak. Really, recap? He's 40 years old. Really, recap? This is his final season. Really, recap? You want some player like Chris Paul on the bench? Yes. Yes, I do. And here's why. Veteran presence, veteran in the locker room, check and check. You want another coach on the floor while you're playing basketball out there? Chris Paul, he is that other coach. And here's the best thing, the best part about it all. The history, it's all there. Not only between Jalen, Brunson, and Chris Paul, but also between CP3 and his longtime former agent, Leon Rose. According to Bondi, he doubled down on his Chris Paul report by stating the following: with Chris Paul news resurfacing what I reported that the Knicks had discussed the possibility for trading for the future Hall of Famer. Paul was repped for a long time by current Knicks president Leon Rose. Not to mention, during the offseason, Chris Paul said the following to Knicks fans: y'all are so lucky to have Jalen here. Leon Rose was my agent. For sure, my family for life. Rick Brunson traveled and worked out with me. So Jalen, 8th grade, 9th grade, working out and training with me. Jalen been nice a long time. Y'all just know that. So the history is there. He has history with Jalen Brunson, history with Rick Brunson, history with the president of the Knicks right now in Leon Rose. That matters a lot, especially that the Knicks are discussing a trade for Chris Paul. So with that being the case, when is a move going to happen, if it happens, between the Clippers and the Knicks? Well, shout out to Evan Cedardy, an NBA insider with Forbes, for giving us this following information. According to him, the Clippers will attempt to trade Chris Paul on December 15th, when he's eligible to be moved. But the prevailing thought is he will be released to join any team he desires. Once again, Paul recently announced this will be his last season playing in the NBA. Now we understand exactly when Chris Paul is likely going to be waived or traded to another team. And for New York, this works out perfectly. If they can trade for him, they will. Or they can just wait for Chris Paul to be waived. And then once he's a free agent, they can try to convince him to join the Knicks basically for free at the lowest cost possible. And if they can do that, I promise you, Leon Rose and this Knicks front office, they will absolutely do that. They wanted to have Malcolm Brogdon and Landry Shamet on this team together, and they were willing to make a trade in order for that to happen. If they can add Chris Paul to this team, keep Landry Shamet on this team, keep the rest of this team together, and do that, and all they have to do is make one simple trade, trading one of the younger players in order to do that, I believe they will. The writing is on the wall. There are just too many connections, too many relationships, and it makes so much sense for the Knicks and Chris Paul. Paul gets to finish his final year with the team that actually wants him and is going places, trying to win a championship. That is an environment for his final year, and I know Leon Rose believes that too. And shout out to channel sponsor FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, for giving us this following information and these latest odds on who's going to win the game tonight between the Hornets and the Knicks. And as you can see here, based on the money line, the New York Knicks are the overwhelming favorite to beat the Hornets tonight, and they're at minus 375 with the Hornets at plus 300. I'm not surprised by these odds, but honestly, I am still not going to say that the Knicks have this game locked up, that this W will be an easy one, because after what I saw last night against the Clippers, any NBA team, as long as they get up and they play consistently for 48 minutes against the Knicks, they have a shot. They might be able to beat New York because they could catch New York sleeping or slipping in one of these quarters, and they could go off, grow a big lead, and that could be the end of the game for the Knicks. No game is safe. No W will come easy. But you know what? That's okay. New York, they should work for each and every victory because that's how you get better as a team. And after what I saw last night, Mike Brown needs to do better for this team, and this Knicks team collectively needs to come together, and they need to play better. But at this point, a backup guard, a veteran backup point guard, that is the most likely move that the Knicks make at the deadline. And as we reported earlier, the Knicks, they have discussed and are currently discussing a trade to get CP3 on this team. And if you know anything about Leon Rose, when he wants a player on this team, he normally gets that player on this team. All we have to do now is sit back and watch and see how Leon Rose works his magic to get CP3 on this team. But what about you guys? What do you think about the Knicks potentially trading for CP3 or adding him to the roster once he's waived on December 15th? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.